Hey, what is up, my fellow golf ball addicts? Welcome to Season 5. We have our first review for the brand new season with a new review format. Well, kind of new, a little bit of tweaks here and there, but it's a really good one for you today. We have the Sam's Club Member Mark golf ball versus the Kirkland V3, the 2025, the update. This is a battle head-to-head and also a review for both golf balls as well, but it is Battle of the Grocery Stores. Let's dive right in. Guys, as always, I appreciate you. Please like, comment, subscribe, all the good free stuff. We also have a membership that just starts at $1. We really appreciate all the support you do here at Golf Ball Addict. You guys are the best. So when it comes to these two golf balls, the Members Mark has been probably the most requested golf ball I've ever had. It's the brand new golf ball. Sam's Club has never had one before they come out, which is interesting because it's called the Pro Series 2. I didn't realize there was a Pro Series 1, but anyway. So a lot of people want to know if these are good or not. They come at a price point of $27.98 for 2 dozen, which is basically $14 a dozen, which is about $1 a golf ball. And for a 3-piece urethane 90 compression, that's pretty good. Actually, no, it's not pretty good. It's the best you can pretty much get as far as value goes. But its competitor has kind of been doing that for years, which of course is the Kirkland Signature golf ball. They started in 2016 and they've had some ups and downs for sure, a lot of downs, but a lot of ups as well. And they've been trying to get this golf ball perfect for a while, and although I have reviewed the V2 and the original V3, this is now an updated V3, you know, there's always been something missing, right? Like it's been a decent golf ball, but you know, the driver numbers are just poor, or the spin numbers are just poor, or balloons too much. Like I've never been able to get a really good optimal performance that's good enough for me to recommend it. And so it's still trying to work out all the kinks. On the other hand of that, Kirkland is still one of the most popular balls on the market. People love them. They swear by them. They die on the hill for them. I mean, they really do. There's a big following. And so I'm interested to see if this version has improved some of those issues that we had with the previous models. So as I said, the Members Mark is $14 a dozen, $28 for a 2-pack. The Kirkland Signature is a little more expensive than that. It's $34.99, and it comes in a double dozen as well. So, you know, both of those are excellent values. The Members Mark obviously gets the nod there when it comes to those two because it is a little bit cheaper. You can spend $7 cheaper, so that's pretty significant. I mean, when you're talking about golf balls, that the main reason people are buying these, you know, is not because they're, you know, going to lower your score, because they're just going to fly off the tee better than a Pro V1. It's more along the lines of you're wanting to save that money. You know, the idea that you can pay $1 a golf ball and get a 3-piece urethane, that's really what you're fiending for. And as long as it's not a terrible golf ball, most of you are pretty okay with it. So the value does matter in the fact that this one is $7 more. I think it is a significant play because I think a lot of you, if this one ends up being the same or close and you can get it $7 cheaper, you're going to. So interesting. Let's dive into the design of both golf balls. Let's start with the Members Mark here. So looking on the front there, it has that big M, which is actually kind of a decent logo. That's not bad. It says Members Mark on it. It's got a nice, you know, red 4 there. On mine, I can see here it's a red number below that, which that's fine. I mean, that's actually a pretty decent design for a, you know, grocery store golf ball. I like it much better than I like the Kirkland Signature, but we'll get there. It looks premium. It feels premium. It actually does have a nice, probably a medium level polyurethane coating on the outside, but it's not very sticky. I'll tell you that right now. It's very slick. So I don't think it's going to stick a green as well as some of these other tour balls you see as far as chips off the green, but it will hold its own. I mean, it's got enough there to do it, but it's definitely slicker than normal. Coming along on the alignment tool on the side, you know, I'm kind of an alignment tool snob, but this is just the more bare bones alignment tool. It says Pro Series, has arrows. I hate it. I can't stand it. I would definitely either draw my own line or I would put a golf dot there, you know, with a line. That way I could actually line up my putts. Not a big deal, but again, just do a black line. If any of these golf ball companies are in doubt, just put a black line there. It works every time. But regardless, okay, so not bad. Let's dive into the Kirkland now. Looking at that, I've never been a big fan of the whole Kirkland Signature thing. It's too much. It does feel grocery store. Got a nice black 3 there. As far as the polyurethane coating on this one, it kind of feels a lot like the Members Mark, to be honest. It's slick. It's not super sticky by any means, but they put a medium amount on there. It's not low. It's not high. So yeah, I think it would absolutely still hold a green. Maybe not as well as those tour balls, like I said, but it'll hold its own still. So looking on the side here, they did update this alignment tool. It says Performance Plus with the arrows, but the arrows are kind of hollow. So again, am I going to line my ball up with either of these? Like here, if I show them on camera, it's tough to see them. I wouldn't do it. Both of these balls, I would either draw a line or put the golf dot on. But yeah, so, you know, as far as who's a winner there in that category, it's very close. I'd give it to Members Mark just because I like the M better. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So, all right, let's get out to the chipping and putting green and let's see how it does around there. Let's see if these covers really do hold. All right, Members Mark first is what we're starting with. Let's see if we got any backspin. Oh, baby, now that's got some checkup. Wow, that is good to see from the Members Mark. Very low. There was a click there for sure. It felt a little dead. It's definitely got a low feel, but my goodness, that ball stopped on a dime. Oh, yeah, that's good. Very good spin. It didn't stop on a dime that time, but it still had some rotation. It actually had a little bit of left spin, too, and it jolted. Let's run that back. Good. Yeah, excellent checkup, especially for the value. I mean, you just can't beat that. I'm going to try to get some left spin on it here, and let's see. Oh, yeah, it did. It hit, and it actually shot left. There's a really healthy amount of spin. Just for fun, I'll try to hit a nasty cut. Let's see. There we go. Okay, not bad. Yeah, you know, that's impressive. It really is. Let's try the Kirkland and see if it can hold up as well. Wow, I mean, again, impressive. It almost felt and acted like the same ball. Yeah, it is a little louder than the Members Mark ball. I imagine that loud click is going to turn some people off just because of how loud it is. But so far, the performance was good and the feel was solid. I'd call it like a medium. Nice. Oh, nice checkup, especially there at the end. It took a couple hops, but it got it. Gonna back up a little here, see if I can get a little more club speed on it. Oh yeah, excellent. Yeah, it really does. There's some bass effect there. Bass effect is when it kind of looks like a fish out of water. It's got spin. All right, let me see if I can get this to go left here. No left spin. I was wondering about that. So both golf balls feel and kind of come off the club very similar. The Members Mark has just a slight amount more of spin, just slightly. And that's why I got to give it the nod here on chipping, because they feel very close, they act very close, but the fact that it has just a touch more spin, I got to give the nod to the Members Mark. Okay, first putting test, big thick mallet putter first. We're going to try Members Mark, of course. Not bad at all. A really light, soft click, a very soft feedback, a nice little firm press. I kind of like that, to be honest. Oh, again, beautiful, just like a little kiss. Yeah, excellent. Love to see that. A little bit of a mishit, still was good. I love the roll, that's excellent. I love the roll, I love the feedback. The sound isn't overbearing. All right, now we have traditional blade putter, older, you know, definitely gonna be a little more click probably. Let's see what we got. No, again, really nice, I like it. Just that soft, firm press, the little kiss of the sound. Excellent. I really love that. So far, the roll has been very true. No chug effect at all. Get in there. A little too firm by me, but my goodness, very consistent. I love that. Well, I guess I'm not going to make one today, guys, but that's all right. Sometimes it's just not your day. I love that. I really do. On mishits, everything, there's just enough feedback to let you know, but it's not obnoxious. It feels really smooth. Again, it's kind of conservative, right? It's not exciting. It doesn't try to be bold. It just tries to get the job done and get it done to a high degree, and it does. All right, so now the Kirkland. We have, of course, again, the mallet putter, thicker, heavier. Let's see what we got. Oh, okay. No, I don't like that. A little louder and a lot of chug effect there. If you're new to the channel, chug effect is essentially when the ball over compresses off the putter a little bit, kind of like a bouncy ball effect, and it goes whoosh and shoots off, and then it has to adjust. That's what I saw a lot of there, unfortunately, so I don't like that. Yeah, it feels a little heavy off the putter. I mean, it doesn't feel like, it just feels like there's a delay. My putter head hits it and it kind of just takes a slight second and then shoots off. I don't like it as much as the Members Mark for sure. I'm glad it finally went in. I don't like the sound at all. The feedback's not so bad, but the sound is like this, like it's just, I don't care for it. All right, so now again, blade putter. Let's see what we got here. Maybe it'll be a little bit better. No, again, that sound, the chug effect, the heaviness. No. I mean, I will admit I'm making more with the Kirkland, but I don't care for it. It's not a golf ball I could putt. Maybe some of you will like that, but I'm just being honest. For me, the Members Mark is light years above it. I would rather putt and chip with the Members Mark any day of the week than the Kirkland. Not that Kirkland was terrible. It's not the worst I've ever seen, but it's definitely not my cup of tea, and definitely there was some chug effect. There's some inconsistency in the roll, but I will say that the putting with the Kirkland is enough and significant enough to where I think it could affect your putting. So be wary of that. I don't think it's going to be for everybody. So that first one was a slight miss hit, and I could definitely feel the 90 compression on that one. Still felt pretty good though, even though it was a miss hit. It did have a softer feel. Let's try to get a nice pure hit. I do feel a little bit of heaviness, but honestly, it's pretty soft for the most part. I would call it like a 4 out of 5 on the feel. It actually feels really, really good. Miss hit feels around like a 3 out of 5, you know, but it still holds its own. Forgiveness-wise is actually pretty good. So, all right, so let's see how the Kirkland compares. Let's go ahead and give it a test here. Same club. Wow, yeah, that's a lot better. I got to give Kirkland the edge after one swing because Kirkland just has that pop. It has that power. It's just, when my club made connection with it, it just was like a rocket, and I heard this click. It was a little loud. Some of you might not like it, but this golf ball was like, heck yeah, man, you just smacked the crap out of me. Great job. So that feel right there, I would say, is probably a 5 out of 5 for me with the Kirkland. That's nice. One more for good measure here. Yeah, excellent. Again, it does feel a little heavy, a little bit, but when you have that type of explosiveness, and that type of reaction, I'm good. I mean, 4.5 out of 5, we'll bump it up to a 5. All right, let's talk some data numbers now. Let's dive into the 50-yard pitch, and let's see how these golf balls did. So backspin RPM from 50 yards out, we are looking at Members Mark having 8,432, which right now is the best I have from Season 5. I've tested 7 golf balls for Season 5. That's the highest. It definitely spins a ton with the wedge. That's awesome. And then the Kirkland Signature is 7,949, which that's pretty close to my average. It's just slightly below. So both golf balls are going to stop on a green. They both spin. They both have a cover that's going to grip. But that Members Mark being about 500 more RPM, that's pretty significant. I mean, it really is. That's definitely one that I would have to give the nod to the Members Mark on. You know, distance and control wise, I really didn't have any issues with either ball. So the fact that it has some really good rip back power for $1 a golf ball, basically, that's pretty impressive, especially since it's the highest I've tested so far. Now, we'll see over time if that continues. We can see if something can beat it, but so far, 7 balls in, it has the current record. All right, so let's dive into the 9-iron now. We have 112.1 versus 125.3 when it comes to carry. 78, that's your club speed right there. 112.1 compared to 125.8, so there's a considerable difference between the distance of those two golf balls. More on that in a second. 91 miles an hour ball speed versus 97.5. 7,721 versus 6,962. Okay, yeah, that's pretty significant right there. 1.17 on your smash factor and 1.25. I mean, again, that's night and day. 25.8 compared to 23.6. Okay, so when it comes to these 9-iron numbers, there's a considerable difference there, and that's because, you know, the Members Mark, like I talked about with the feel, it's pretty squishy. It's a little more dead feeling. It reminds me a little bit of a premium super soft, like a Callaway super soft. Like, it's not super dead, but that's kind of what it is, and there's just no pop off the club. Now, what I do like is the spin number. Again, if you're a spin guy, if what you care about is getting some rip back, you don't really care about the distance as much, that's where your Members Mark golf ball really comes in and shines. I mean, the distance numbers, I won't sugarcoat it. They're low. They're really, really low. But when you look at how much spin it got, when you look at that 7,721 compared to 6,962, I mean, you're talking about almost 900, 800 to 900 RPM more. That's significant. I mean, you're going to lose 6-7 yards based on that alone. So if you take away that spin from the Members Mark, you're actually getting more close to 120 yards. So it's not so bad. But again, you're trading that spin for that. The other thing I notice is that the Members Mark golf ball is launching considerably higher. It launches that higher degree. And anytime you have a golf ball that launches high and spins a ton, it kind of starts to balloon a bit. And that's why I lost so much distance. That's what I had a problem with the Kirkland V2. It just spun so much that it just ended up kind of being irrelevant because it just ballooned tuned all the time. And if you were playing in wind or anything, oh, God help you. All right, and getting into the 7-iron, we have 157.3 compared to 163.3, 158.6 compared to 165.3, so those are a little closer. 82.9 compared to 83.6 on your swing speed, so just keep that in mind. I did swing slightly faster with the Kirkland. 113.5 compared to 115.7, so close in ball speed, but again, there's your main factor, 5,826 compared to 5,336. So 500 RPM more is going to get you a minus of 4 or 5 yards. That makes sense. 1.37 on your smash, 1.38 on your smash, and then an 18.3 launch versus a 17 launch. So once again, I mean, it's pretty obvious that these two golf balls are separate. They're different, and that shows you right there. The Members Mark has less distance, but it has more spin. It launches a little higher. So to me, the Members Mark is almost like it's acting more like a not professional golf ball, more like your value tour where you got guys who are 10, 15 handicaps. Now on Members Mark website, they claim it is for scratch golfers. I'm going to go ahead and say, probably not. Based on these numbers I've seen, if you're someone who hits the golf ball, 200 yards with your 7-iron, this thing's going to feel like mush to you. I mean, it just is. The Kirkland's probably going to be better in that regard. Once again, though, really good ball speed, really good pop with the Kirkland. The numbers are great. The spin's a little low. I wish it was. This is definitely more like a distance golf ball opposed to a control, keep it in play, and finesse golf ball like the Members Mark is. But yeah, I mean, both those numbers aren't bad by any means. It's just, again, I got to give it to Kirkland Signature just because of the pop, just because of the ball speed number. It's close, though. Members Mark was a very close second there. Then we look at the driver numbers, and we have 227.3 compared to 226, 236 compared to 235.1, 97.8 compared to 95. So that's interesting there. You'll notice I swung about 2 mile an hour less with the Kirkland Signature, but the numbers are still pretty close. So that kind of tells you something. 142.1 compared to 139.2. Excellent ball speed from the Members Mark. That's awesome. 24.58 on your backspin compared to 2053. Again, Kirkland I think is going to be for a faster swinger, a much better golfer. 1.45 compared to 1.46. 14.7 compared to 16.5. So okay, both really great numbers there across the board. They're very close. You could go back and forth on them. I would say, to me, the Members Mark gets the nod there, and I'll tell you why. The Kirkland Signature truly is a golf ball for the advanced golfer. It really is. And the reason I believe that is because what I noticed is its lack of forgiveness. Forgiveness on your wedge shots and on your 7-iron, they're okay. They're good. They're good in 3 out of 5, whatever. They get the job done. But my goodness, I have never in my life witnessed what I witnessed with the driver with the Kirkland Signature. Now, first of all, when it comes to backspin, I'll say it's phenomenal. It does, I think the highest I got with it was like 2,200. It is a low backspinning golf ball off the tee. That's the good news. The bad news is the side spin, honestly, the worst I've ever seen, by far. My golf ball addicts know that I do have a power draw. That's my normal shot. I like it to get up in the air and have a nice little draw. Sometimes it turns into a power draw. Occasionally, that power draw will turn into a hook if I close it too soon. Sometimes it happens. That's why I hit multiple shots and I take the best of what I do. I've never seen a golf ball hook so easily in my life. The amount of times I would slow my swing down, hit a golf shot and go, oh yeah, that was the one. And then turn and watch this golf ball just, complete 90-degree side angle, hurricane, 2-3 fairways over. Just nuts. The forgiveness with the driver is the worst I've ever seen. If you're not a good golfer, if you're someone who struggles and sometimes you hit a slice or sometimes you hit a little bit of a hook, this golf ball will take that and amp it up to 20. It just will. It will absolutely amp it through the roof. If you're someone who normally hits a little slice and, oh yeah, I'm over in the rough, you'll be 2-3 fairways over with this golf ball. Like, it is insane. It has the pop, it has the ball speed, it has the fun, but my goodness, don't close the face half a degree. Oh my goodness, you'll be done. You'll be racking up penalty strokes like you wouldn't believe. You'll be shooting in the high 100s. Members Mark had really good results here, and it also was just really accurate. It was really consistent. I didn't have trouble with draw. Actually, I didn't even really draw the ball that much. A lot of it was just nice little, maybe a light little fade, straight, occasionally a nice little draw, but nothing hooked, nothing sliced, nothing bad. I'm not the most perfect driver in the world. I'm not. I'll just be real with you. But what I saw from Kirkland was just mind-boggling. I hit 32 shots with the Kirkland ball. I normally only hit 15. I hit 15 and I take the 10 best. I hit 32 because I couldn't figure out if it was me. I couldn't figure it out if it was the ball. But after 32 shots, 18 of them were hooks. Now, come on. I'm not the greatest driver, but I'm not that bad. I've been testing balls for 5 years. I know better. It's a really unforgiving ball. And unless you're scratch, unless you're 5 handicap or lower, unless you're someone who every time drives the ball in the center, and I mean, maybe once every 3 rounds you'll hit a little bit of a fade, then you'll be fine. But if you're someone who struggles at all, even slightly off the tee, you're going to have to stay away from the Kirkland. It will punish you. All right, so let's look at a couple graphics here. Let's look at some accuracy and some consistency results here, maybe some forgiveness as well. Let's start with the Members Mark golf ball. This is what we're looking at here. As you can see, I really love the 50-yard pitch. Everything is really accurate, really close. Then you go into the pitching wedge, and again, everything is, I mean, that's a green right there. All those shots are going to be on a green, which is awesome. Now, I will admit, once you get to the 7-iron, you can see a couple errant shots there at the bottom. You see, bottom left and bottom right, those were just no bueno by me. But look at the rest of them, all very accurate, very consistent. I mean, that's awesome. Those are all like light in a little pool. That's probably the best I've seen. Then when you get to the driver up there at the top, as you can see, it's okay. It's still in the fairway for the most part, but there's a couple errant ones there. But what I really like is there's no hooks, there's no pull hooks, there's no slices, there's none of that. Everything stays in the fairway pretty good. All right, so as you can see with the 50-yard pitch, I actually had some distance issues, and I usually don't. That's usually the easiest club for me to control, but I had some very interesting disparities in distance, so that's concerning for me. Now, once you get to the distance on the pitching wedge, that's actually pretty spot on. Now, you do see some left and some right, so the accuracy wasn't great there, but the distance control is awesome. Then you get to the 7, and the 7's kind of a nice blend of both. I don't see anything that's, all those shots would be on a green, which is nice. So that's awesome there. And then once you get to driver, you can see a little bit of issue as far as the distance control and a little bit of an issue as accuracy. Not bad though, but unfortunately, like I just said, I had to hit 32 shots and I had to narrow it down to 10, and those are the 10 best. So, I mean, of course it's going to look like that, but don't be fooled. That number is definitely padded. If I showed you the real results, it would be all over the place. I had to kind of get those numbers down just to see what the ball is capable of, if that makes sense. But yeah, no, accuracy-wise, not great there. So between the two golf balls, again, there's good and bad in both, but the Members Mark to me is the more safer, consistent option. Not by a lot, but by enough to where I think that the majority of golfers who are playing it, your 10 handicaps, I think that they're going to appreciate being in the fairway and being on the green a little bit more. All right, let's touch on durability, and then I will give you my closing thoughts. When it comes to the Members Mark, we'll start with that. Looking at it, I got to be honest, it looks really, really nice. I can't really find too many gouges. I look on here on the front, and you can kind of see a little bit of a scuff. But if I feel that scuff, it doesn't really feel that bad. I mean, it actually is pretty held up. There's a little bit of paint off on the side where it says Pro Series 2. I absolutely would call that a 9 out of 10. That's really good. I would feel completely safe using this for putting still. I could still play through it. This is after about 80 shots. Yeah, I mean, nothing, you know what I mean? That's awesome. I really expected a golf ball this cheap to not have a great durability, and it actually proved me wrong. How refreshing. Getting to the Kirkland Signature, not as better. Looking at this one, you can see some scuffs, you can see some slits, you can see some, definitely some deep cuts. I wouldn't feel comfortable putting this golf ball anymore. This one went through a little more shots because of the driver, like I said, but the driver wasn't the issue. The main issue I had with the Kirkland was the wedge performance. So after I got done, the first testing I do is the 50-yard pitch. I have a 58-degree wedge, and I just hit these little 50-yard pitches. And after those shots alone, this golf ball had all these scuffs. I really didn't see any durability issues from my pitching wedge, the 7-iron, the driver. It did fine there. But hitting it with a wedge, it immediately caused these scuffs. And that concerns me because what that means is that if it does have bad durability with the wedges, you could take a brand new ball out, hit it with a driver, hit it in the sand with your second shot, and then out of the sand, now all of a sudden you have to switch golf balls. And so now the value at $35 a dozen, if you're using 4 or 5 of them around because the durability is so bad, well, now that value comes down because it's like, well, wait a minute, I'm having to use 5 around because of the durability. So it's not quite the same. The Members Mark's almost perfect, and they were tested exactly the same way. So, Members Mark being a 9 out of 10, I would call the Kirkland Signature, unfortunately, I'll be nice and give it a 5 out of 10 because the fact that the rest of the clubs didn't have an issue. But the fact that you could take this out and one time hit it and be done with it, that's a big red flag for me, and I can't give it any better than a 5, unfortunately. All right, so here we're gonna go ahead and look. I'm gonna show you right now, this is the head-to-head matchups. Design, Members Mark wins. There's your chipping results, your putting results, your feel results. That's across the board there of everything that won. And it's interesting because these golf balls, it's hard to compare them because they really are for totally different golfers, right? And they're two totally different golf balls. If we're talking in the grand scheme of golf balls, right, that I've tested, which is now like 175 or something, I can't remember, but it's a lot. Neither of these golf balls are good enough to really get a performance recommendation from me. Neither of them perform that well. But they are good enough to have a market, absolutely. I think the market, let's start with the Members Mark. The Members Mark market, to me, is someone who is kind of, I think, the traditional Kirkland player. I think it's someone who is buying these golf balls because they can't afford a lot. They understand that they're not going to get as much performance. You're going to have to shave off a few yards, but you're going to get some spin. You're going to get a high, easy launch in the air. I think if you're a 10 handicap, 15 handicap, and you're ready for a 3-piece golf ball, this really works well. And no, it's not explosive. No, it's not going to make your eyes pop. You're not going to hit it and go, wow. But you're going to be on the green a lot, I think. And I think you're going to be around the green a lot. And I think you're going to see a couple strokes shaved here and there because the consistency and the accuracy and everything was really, really good with the Members Mark. And the Kirkland does have some bright spots as well, but there's also some major concerns. I love the ball speed. I love the feel. I love the explosiveness from it. But boy, it's not forgiving. It's not forgiving at all. And that's been a big issue I've had with Kirkland balls in the past. So again, if you're a scratch golfer, yeah, I think you can make this golf ball work. If you're 2 handicap, 3 handicap, maybe, absolutely. But if you're a 10 to 15 handicap, you are going to spray this thing all over the course. I mean, you just are. And I think at that point, if you're a mid-level handicap, I think the Members Mark makes so much more sense. And the problem I have with the scratch golfer argument is, okay, if you're a scratch golfer, why are you buying the Kirkland Signature? I mean, let's be real. Like, if you're that good at golf, spend a little more and get a Wilson Triad or a TaylorMade Tour Response Stripe, or, because I understand you might not want to spend 55 on tour balls, but get something that's a little bit better if you're that good at golf, because you will notice a difference. And so the Members Mark market is a little more easier for me to see than the Kirkland Signature. I don't think there's really that big of a market that I could recommend it to. So, especially with the durability issues also, that's a big concern. So both these golf balls had some really good things about them, but I really like the Members Mark for just being, a safe, consistent option. It's accurate, it has a lot of spin, it has a lot of checkup, and it's cheaper, and the durability is way better. And so I think when you add all those things up, the clear winner for me is the Sam's Club Members Mark golf ball, and it's their first attempt. You know what I mean? Kirkland, not to be mean, because I've been trashed more by any golf ball, period. This is the one that gets me the most hate. And so I almost hate reviewing it. But the reality is Kirkland's had 9 years to figure this out. They've had 9 years to get this right. And they just can't. They go from, hey, we want to be the Pro V1. And okay, no, now we're just for the average golfer. And oh, now we're a blend of both. And now we firmed it up. And oh, now it's 4 layers. Now it's 3. They just can't get it right. They just can't. They have no sense of control of what they want the golf ball to be. And that's because they're trying to listen to the user feedback. And you're trying to make too many changes at once. And unfortunately, here's where we are. Now, the good news, has Kirkland gotten better? It has. This is actually my favorite Kirkland ball so far. It is. It's my favorite one. But it's still light years away from being a perfect ball. If I was to assess a score, which I don't do, but if I was to assess a score to both golf balls, I'd give the Members Mark like an 8 out of 10, but I'd give Kirkland like a 6 out of 10. Because again, there's some really great stuff in here, but there's also some stuff that I'm like, okay, I don't know how to handle that. And so, what are you going to do? All right, guys, that is our first review, a head-to-head battle of the grocery stores. Keep watching, keep saving, keep learning. I will see you soon. Thank you all so much.